Ontario motorists who are heading out to scenic Manitoulin Island get to enjoy a very unique driving experience while getting there. A long, single-lane bridge carries highway traffic across the busy boat channel at the entrance to Little Currents Harbour. But did you know that at one time, highway traffic also shared this narrow bridge with trains? This is the story of the Little Current Swing Bridge, an intriguing and unique bridge structure with a fascinating history which dates back more than a century. Hello, and welcome Ontario highway travelers. I'm your host, Cameron Beavers, with another installment of my YouTube channel's Did You Know? Ontario Highways Trivia Series. If you find the King's Highways of Ontario interesting, and you'd like to learn more about how they came to be, then this is the place for you. So stick around, let's go out and hit the highways together. At the dawn of the 20th century, Manitoulin Island was very remote and only accessible by boat. No bridges connected Manitoulin Island to the mainland. In 1913, a railway line was completed from Espanola southerly to Little Current. Where the railway crossed the North Channel into Little Current, an opening bridge was built in order to accommodate marine traffic at the eastern entrance to Little Currents Harbour. The cantilevered railway bridge was designed to rotate 90 degrees about a central pivot, which allowed ships to pass on either side of the swing bridge's central pier. The new railway bridge was put into service in late 1913. For the first few decades of operation, the Little Current Swing Bridge carried exclusively railway traffic. Manitoulin Island was also served by a steamer ferry service from the south via Tobermory and also from various North Shore ports on Lake Huron. While Manitoulin Island had its own road network, it was impossible to drive to the island directly from the rest of Ontario for many years. That all changed in the 1920s when an external highway link arrived. By 1929, a road had been completed by Ontario's Department of Northern Development between Espanola and Goat Island, where motorists could cross over the North Channel to Little Current via a short ferry service. The new road and ferry service into Little Current cut travel times from the mainland to the island from hours down to mere minutes. The Department of Highways of Ontario, or DHO, took over responsibility for the Espanola to Little Current Road in August 1937, at which time the route was designated as King's Highway 68. Decades later, Highway 68 was renumbered as Highway 6. While the various Manitoulin Island ferry services allowed access to the rest of the provincial highway system from the island, there were no road bridges which linked the island to the mainland until well into the 1940s. During World War II, a proposal was made to the railway company to retrofit the existing Little Current Swing Bridge so that it could also carry highway traffic. The deck of the railway bridge was replanked to allow for cars and trucks to cross the bridge whenever it was not in use by the railway. A diversion of Highway 68, about 1 mile in length, was constructed to the swing bridge during 1944. By the summer of 1945, the new bridge was set to open, but it had to be postponed due to the unavailability of traffic signal equipment, which was required in order for the bridge to operate safely. The retrofitted Little Current Swing Bridge was finally put into service for Highway 68 traffic on November 28, 1945. That day, the DHO ferry Jacqueline made its final crossing to Manitoulin Island before its operation permanently ceased. The shared-use bridge at Little Current provided a more reliable highway link to Manitoulin Island, which was available for use 24 hours a day. The previous ferry crossing did not offer overnight service, which meant that motorists could find themselves stranded on the wrong side of the channel if they happened to miss the last ferry across the harbour. While the bridge offered motorists the opportunity to cross the North Channel day or night, that didn't mean that crossings were completely free from any delays. Whenever a train approached, traffic on Highway 68 was fully stopped until the train had crossed the North Channel. Since the swing bridge wasn't originally designed to carry a highway, northbound and southbound traffic on Highway 68 had to take turns crossing the narrow bridge. Traffic signals at either end of the bridge would only allow one direction of traffic to cross at a time. And then there was the issue of marine traffic on the North Channel, which resulted in the interruption of both railway and highway traffic whenever a ship needed to pass through.
By 1980, railway traffic to Manitoulin Island had decreased substantially, and the railway proposed to abandon the line altogether. With a desire to retain the bridge at Little Current for highway traffic, the province of Ontario came to an agreement with Canadian Pacific Railway in 1982 to take over ownership and maintenance of the Little Current Swing Bridge. The bridge became a provincial asset effective April 1st, 1983. More than a century after it was first built in 1913, the Little Current Swing Bridge is still operating. However, the aging bridge is nearing the end of its service life. Proposals are now in place to construct a new swing bridge just to the west of the existing bridge in the future. The new bridge will be built as a two-lane structure so that alternating traffic between the northbound and southbound directions will no longer be necessary. But for the time being, the old one-lane Little Current Swing Bridge stands as a unique and curious feature on the Ontario highway system which has really stood the test of time. The Little Current Swing Bridge has become so iconic and synonymous with Manitoulin Island life that the bridge's silhouetted truss design has been incorporated into everything from souvenirs, local corporate logos, and tourism advertising. One can't travel too far in this part of Ontario without seeing the bridge's design featured on something. For those who wish to see the Little Current Swing Bridge in action, the bridge is swung open to allow passage for any waiting boats at the top of the hour from dawn until dusk. Your chances of seeing the bridge in operation are best on summer weekends, when marine traffic on the North Channel is typically at its busiest.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. You can also learn more about the fascinating stories behind Ontario's highways by subscribing to this channel so that you can be advised as soon as new video content is loaded. You can also learn more by visiting my Ontario Highways website at www.thekingshighway.ca. And until next time, happy motoring. We'll see you out on the King's Highways.